Bitcoin is the global settlement layer for all assets. Certainly possible. And we're like, no, it's ETH. ETH has more activity. I'm like, no. The activity of trading the token is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about final settlement of where you want. It's crazy how many people in the institutional world are still stuck on zero. Literally zero. It's 80+% of institutions.
Bitcoin has catapulted past the $40,000 mark, signaling the arrival of an official bull run in the crypto market. Mark Yusko, the founder, CEO, and CIO of Morgan Creek Capital, regards Bitcoin as an ideal settlement layer. He firmly believes that soon, having zero exposure to Bitcoin in one's portfolio will be deemed financially irresponsible. Bitcoin price remains bullish, up almost 60% since mid-September, confirming that Q4 is the best month for Bitcoin narrative. Bitcoin struggles to maintain positive momentum for November after an intense October. Bitcoin price is trading with a bullish bias, riding on three themes. First, the fourth quarter has historically proven to be a good month for Bitcoin. Secondly, there is intense anticipation for the approval of spot Bitcoin exchange-traded funds, with experts marking the calendar for between January 5th and 10th. Third, the Bitcoin halving event slated for April 2024 remains something to look forward to. Yusko finds the chart's pattern fascinating. Despite occasional volatility and a stagnant 6-month period, it consistently demonstrates higher highs and lows. He regards it as a classic accumulation pattern, one of the finest examples. On November 21st, the DOJ announced enforcement actions and a settlement related to Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao and Binance, in which both pleaded guilty. According to the settlement, Binance will pay $4.3 billion in fines, and CZ will pay $159 million in penalties. Yusko sees it as a thing of absolute beauty. Despite such events, he suggests it might be time for a new hashtag, Bitcoin doesn't care. The cryptocurrency seems firmly entrenched in a substantial accumulation phase, and different to these occurrences. Let's move towards the video to understand more about this. Before we get started, subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon for the latest updates.
We're up 12% in the past 30 days. So it wasn't Moonvember, because it was Uptober, up 29%, but we have 12% in November. So happy December, by the way. And then over the last year, we're up 123%. And this chart is just so beautiful in that you have volatility, which we always do, and you even have a long period, almost 6 months of no movement, but you have higher highs and higher lows, a series of higher highs and higher lows. That is accumulation writ large. This is one of the great accumulation chart patterns that you will see. And if you go back to that 1 month chart, I think it is.
Yeah, here.
That is an absolute thing of beauty. And think about it, in this month, I tweeted about this the other day. In this month, okay, we had a U.S. government agency, who shall remain nameless, levy the largest fine against the largest crypto exchange in the world, of which it's questionable whether they had any jurisdiction over, but they still did it, forced the CEO to step down from his role. And this chart says, I don't care. I just don't care. And, maybe I need a new hashtag, Bitcoin doesn't care. It is in a massive accumulation. And I said, January 8th, King's birthday. That's the day I believe the approval's going to happen. I just thought it was interesting how people are still stuck on this idea of volatility, and volatility is your friend. So what you want are assets like Amazon, like Apple, like Microsoft, not Microsoft, I hate Microsoft, that have this high volatility, but they have long-term accretion to your portfolio. But the reason you need Bitcoin in your portfolio, and all the institutions, every single one of them, is going to have it. This is the crazy thing. Every single one of them will, and I've been saying this for years, right? Get off zero. I've been saying since 2017. And all that means is, and I said 10 years, and now we're, 6 years in. So it's only 4 more years from now. You will be deemed fiduciarily irresponsible if you have zero. I'm not saying you have to have 10 or 20 or 30, but zero is the wrong number.
The price of Bitcoin fell below $40,000 in April 2022, but it has rallied in recent months due to U.S. central bankers' dovish comments and hopes for a spot Bitcoin ETF. There are now 13 entities with a filed Bitcoin ETF awaiting approval from the SEC, which analysts predict will come before January 10, 2024. A 90% chance exists that all pending ETF bids will be approved concurrently by January 10th, according to Bloomberg ETF analysts. Despite a year of consolidation following the battering that the total cryptocurrency market capitalization took amidst solid economic headwinds in 2022, we've seen little movement amidst crypto capitalization throughout 2023. At around $1.4 trillion at the time of writing, the total cryptocurrency market cap is still far short of its brief 2021 peak of more than $3 trillion and way behind the entire stock market capitalization of around $112 trillion. Yusko foresees a potentially tumultuous phase with the arrival of the ETF. According to him, this introduction might disrupt the existing landscape where investors rely on buying shares of companies like MicroStrategy or Coinbase to indirectly access Bitcoin. Now, let's move towards the video. We've picked out some clips from the interview that we'd like to share with you.
People, I think, miss sometimes is just the amount of money out there that is in these little boxes, these rule boxes. And there's 30 trillion by Eric Balchunis's, I think I'm saying his last name right.
Alconis. Yeah.
Alconis, yep. And, 30 trillion, big number, that can't at this point buy Bitcoin directly, right? But they can, in many cases, not all, buy things like, MicroStrategy or Coinbase because they're listed companies, as opposed to, UBS won't let me buy GBTC, whatever. But when this ETF happens, that's going to be a dicey period because then it's like, well, I don't have to buy MicroStrategy, which is a questionable software business tacked on to a big honeypot of Bitcoin. And I don't have to pay a premium anymore for Coinbase. And I think Coinbase will do well because their business is going to skyrocket, right? Because they're going to do custody for these ETFs and they're going to, get ancillary benefit. And when the institutions really come, because yes, there's an institutional bid, but it's with this many people. I mean, yeah. I'm not, and I actually have numbers to back it up because I'm still smiling and dialing and trying to get people to meet. It's crazy how many people in the institutional world are still stuck on zero, literally zero. It's 80+% of institutions. Now it's funny in the surveys, I think like 74% said, "Oh, we have exposure." Like, well, kind of. And what they're saying is, well, we gave some money to this venture capitalist. And we think they have some exposure somewhere. But yeah, okay, fine. But that's not you making a decision to buy a digital asset for all the right reasons, right? The reason to own digital assets is very simple. Let's just talk Bitcoin, and then we can go to the others. But Bitcoin is 0.0 correlated to bonds and 0.15 correlated to stocks. Those are the two lowest correlations of any meaningful asset class, like high yield bonds, hedge funds, private equity, international stocks. If you take anything with, kind of half a trillion and up of value. You could find small things like, stamps or coins that have even lower correlation. But for a meaningful asset class, this is the least correlated of all of them. And so when you add it to a Markowitz framework, meaning, when you take cash, riskiest asset you could ever own because you lose to inflation, and you add bonds, which have more volatility, risk goes down.
Bitcoin has more than doubled in value this year, breaking out of the doldrums of the so-called crypto winter that followed scandals such as the collapse of the FTX exchange last year. What is your stance? What key themes are driving Bitcoin's current bullish momentum? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you found this content informative, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for the latest updates. Thank you for being here with us.